And it's like, so you burn too much fire, everything you just have to
You can find that them time.
They're gonna call you Sizzla.
DJ Khaled.
Yes.
Okay. DJ Khaled, loves and rates you. But I know you guys had an issue one time. How was the relationship? No. Is it everything good? What would you say is your biggest achievement?
Sleepless nights it name, no sweat and tears, then private plane. We always are the same, you know enough of them would hype with fame. Enough get the break and I try pull style, but
Blessings and honor. Welcome to another episode of Indepth Podcast, the podcast where we seek to go deeper with the issues and with the people that we are interviewing. Now, today is probably Indepth's one of Indepth's most special moments right now. For me personally, because this individual is not only a great artist, he's a great friend, he's a loyal person, he's someone I've grown to understand and appreciate more than just how you might know him as Miguel Collins or Sizzla Kalonji. Sizzla, I want to say welcome to Indepth Podcast and thank you so much for being here. So, people, before we get started, remember subscribe, share, like. Sizzla Kalonji, aka Dada, aka Miguel Collins.
Yes.
So many acronyms or things we can say about you. Dada, the first thing I want to ask you about is you are known for over 70 albums, maybe 100, right? That I have read about.
Yes.
I know you have countless albums and albums that go worldwide, places that humans, probably natural Jamaicans here would think, Sizzla have music over there?
Yeah.
Explain to me before all of this, what was Sizzla's journey from a childhood coming up and also within music?
Well, I grew up in a community, 40 Augustine Road, Kingston 7, a very beautiful community in Easterly, Kingston. I would say close neighbor to the University of the West Indies. I mean, beautiful region, beautiful people. I grew up in the garage.
Yes.
With my father, yeah. My
Yes.
mom, she does marketing, sells stuff in the market, Coronation Market,
Oh.
from that time. So from my youth, I grew up in the garden because you have the natural Hope River, you have the streamlet, and you have a lot
Yes.
of farming based on historical position and historical events being taken place there before even I and I as people in this dispensation being there from it was the time of Pumpkin Hill, Free Hill from the Maroon.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just an inheritance of the Maroon family handed down to Bedwood.
Mhm.
So all that spirituality, that culture, this place, 40 Augustine Road, was like the headquarters.
Oh, okay.
It was like the ministry.
Oh,
This is
okay.
where the secretary of Alexander Bedwood resides. So all these persons responsible for servicing of the community within the spiritual order. These are the
Yes.
spiritual leaders for the community.
So 40 Bedwood Avenue, right?
40 Augustine Road.
40 Augustine Road, my apology, is where we call Judgment Yard.
Exactly.
And that's where we visit. Now, how the name Judgment Yard come about? I have my own thoughts about boy here.
Well, growing up in the community, growing up around your parents, I reside with both parents, mom and dad, Aston Collins, Louise, Shirley Collins. So you find out that it's really difficult for a child to really go astray, be distracted, having both parents. And then my
Right.
mom was like in the market, so she like rise up from early in the morning and she don't get back in the yard until way down in the night.
Yeah.
But then again, whenever time you're being taken out of the garage, you're in the market, Coronation Market, you have to be up and down helping your mother to sell. So I grew up with the culture from the market place with the people, different character,
Yes.
back to the Augustine community with the time of the violence based upon the political atmosphere, because I was
Right.
like 1976
Right.
leading up the 1980 election onwards. So we have the culture and yet we have the political atmosphere of ours. So it's just there for you to discern within your own self what's the true path for you, even though being instructed or being advised. So as a youth, growing up, used to watch my father go take in Bob Marley, them 12 tribe was just across the river.
Yeah.
So I grew up with this culture.
Right.
you know, and that's what have nurtured me, I think, to this level. And I was like, you know, around a lot of Rastaman. So I used to the Psalms and the Bible reading and all those stuff. So growing up in that culture, it was like, you know, something, start singing and helping these people to deliver the message. And I
Right.
say, you know, every artist has somewhere that they can represent themselves with. So I like, so why not a Sizzla?
Right.
Having somewhere. So I say, no, something, this place a judgment yard, you know, based upon Psalms 9. Because in Psalms 9 it said the Most High will establish a throne of judgment to judge his people. So I say, well, if Jah go establish a throne of judgment, that the yard is the throne of judgment, yard this, you know. Brother, the Almighty yard this, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing in a bad sense, you know what I mean? Because you have to have a judgment. Whether you're good or bad, you still have to pass a judgment.
So, hold on there. People would have forward a judgment yard for face judgment or for be judged then.
No, it's not good to judge persons. It's better to, you want to know someone, it's best to sit with the person, pass some time, reason with the person to get to know the person. Judgment yard is just a name,
Right.
you know, based upon the whole energy and the vibration and the Back to Africa movement, and to be serious about black people being standing up in that forefront to represent themselves and get out of servitude.
Dada, let me tell you why me feel said it named Judgment Yard. It's the big step the way you have to step. It's the big step the way going up and coming down. It's
The
like
entrance to the valley.
yeah, and it's entrance to the valley because it's always something special when I forward. I always feel, and I love the fact you're one of the few people. People would think that somebody of your caliber, somebody that reached the heights that you have reached in our musical genre, would not want to necessarily be, because we know that you're a very humble person. I know you personally. I know you're humble. But of course, it's SizzlaKalonji. He could live wherever he wants. Why is he there at Judgment Yard every day?
Because that's the breathing ground, that's the feeding ground. That is where I gain all my intelligence coming up as a youth, start getting consciousness of myself, the whole mountain, pumpkin hill, the river stream, you know, the whole people right there. That is where I started gaining my first sense of consciousness as a youth growing up. You know what I mean? That's where it starts. So I can't just turn my back on a community like that. You know what I mean?
Did you learn any instruments as a young person or after you got into the music? Because I know you know instruments.
I knew guitar, but I was only able to play bass because I see my hand was really small. Couldn't go around the guitar fretboard, so I practiced bass with a Rasta man named Lightning. You know?
Yes,
So my father and a virgin of his name Lightning, so I learned the guitar from then. But after entering into music, I just purchased a guitar and I just start do some reading, self-tutored, and I just start practicing.
Yeah, so you're an autodidact.
Autodidact.
Autodidact. Now, Dada, how did you, and I'm sure because you are one of the leaders of our time, especially for ghetto youths, especially for youths that are trying. And I'm sure, as all of us know, you had your times when you had problems with um, police or people trying to make you look a certain way. How do you stay away from not becoming, or how did you get away from that? So the youths them know, would want to know, oh, I can become a SizzlaKalonji. I'm a forward from Augustown. I'm a forward from Mountain View. Because a lot of people on Mountain View can tell me, Prado, that are your brethren, you know. But you know, say, used to walk up here, so, and you know, say, my name Collins too, and you know, and I say, yeah. And I'm say, yeah, man, cause I used to trod upon the view. At enough time when maybe you would have trod me, they're foreign, you know.
Well, I would say I'm a natural person, you see. Nothing is too far-fetched from the truth. I went to Augustown Primary, I went to New Providence Primary, I went to even Gainstead, just close to the stadium right there. I went to Dunoon Technical High School. I used to be in Nannyville every day, Larrabelle Navis and Sean and the whole crew. So it's just a territory that I'm very familiar with.
East side of Jamaica.
Got friends everywhere, especially classmates from that time coming up, you know what I mean? And on top of that again, as an artist, it's just good for me to just be natural with myself. it's no difference being popular, getting all these accolades and being out there in the world. They're still relating to these people. These people, they haven't changed. The same set of people. The only difference is that they went in the shower, they pretty up, and then they come to the stage. But the same people, the same feelings, same character, suffering every day. So I can't be representing a people and be like stepping away from the people. Who will you be representing? You don't know what you're representing. So you have to pass time with these people, know what they're all about. And then again, coming up through the Rastafari, schooling, faith, entered the Bobo Shanti, it becomes so natural knowing the militaries of the card and the Naya being the order kept it so natural because you see this is the order of love and share and care and something that you must pass on to your brother. So it takes nothing for me to just be humble. Someone asks a question, you answer them, you reason with persons. To be sociable, but yet still not too much.
Right, because you have to maintain a certain sense of.
So within all that scope, I learned to I practice a lot of in-house habits. I like reading. So in them time coming up, you didn't have the touch screen. You know, you have cellular phone, but you didn't have the touch screen. You didn't have this great social media.
I think if we did get, I think the kids them do not need phones in school. I think they can have the phones, but I think if once they reach the school, leave it at the gate. However, and then in school and at home when it's a time to do your work, because their creativity now is not being inspired internally or to their mental capability. They now are lazier and look in the phone for their creativity. You don't get me wrong, you know. You have a lot of these generations now that are creative because of the phone.
Yes, but you have to allow them to use their natural instinct, but at the same time, technology is being created for the use. You know, therefore, so these children, they're going to be using all these stuff. It's for them, but you just have to separate the time and a place for everything. In school, in class, you know, a lot of parents, a lot of kids being abducted, being kidnapped. So parents are very terrified about their kids. So they're going to let the kids have phones, but not in class, might be after class, because it will become after distraction. So saying that to say this, in those times, as a youth growing up, we didn't have the MySpace, we didn't have cellular phone. So my only social media was what I get from school, your books. Different, you have something on the television and it's just your books. So
our marble.
So based upon the custom from school, learning to read and do your own research for yourself, I started reading a lot of other books. Ended up at Bobo Shanti now and seeing the program being set by Prince Manuel and the Rastafari family. And we started reading letters and documents and we started learning stuff. And then we started reading and we studied the militaries like, I don't know what comes before, what comes after, based upon the principle of the foundation. You'll have to dress like this. Being like this automatically becomes a tradition and then ends up with a culture, and that's just an indigenous package right there. Same thing for the Naya being center. You go there, you learn the drum, the Rastaman taught you all these things. So all these things are going to be played out into your culture, into your music. You know, so you go to school, you learn anything, you're going to use it for some time in the future when you need to apply all these faculties. So it's the same thing in the music. So a lot of in-house habits. I learned the trade from a youth in Augustown, then now auto body work, fixing cars, and I learned auto mechanic at school.
You're very good at that.
So all those stuff is just parcels in which this whole package just kept me going. I might not be handy doing the mechanic or doing the engineer, but it's somehow it still plays out in decision making, in ciphering stuff in and around the community domestically. So these are the things that kept me out of all these stuff. I always
keep you out of the badness then.
And I always see myself as an officer of the state of Rastafari. Therefore, if you're an officer of the state of Rastafari, think of stuff that you will arrest people for and try to keep yourself out of that state. So if you want to say, yo, you're a thief and I'll arrest a thief as a state,
so you're not going
officer, so you're not going to do it. So you just turn yourself in a Rastafari, turn yourself in the police and tap with police will come and antagonize you for doing something that's really unlawful.
But Dada,
be your own government, indigenous, be self-governed.
Like how we have a ballad, you can still be a Rasta.
Yeah, of course.
Because I consider myself Rasta.
Because a human being. Rastafari, he is the king of Ethiopia. Ras means Tafari means creator, someone to be feared. He was born Tafari, based upon not skipping the rank and appointed based upon holy duties. He was given the title Ras, meaning head, but his surname is Makonnen. So it's Tafari Makonnen, but he was called Rastafari. But the reason being why we're Rastafari, then say, show me a company, tell me who you are. You know, we two can't walk unless we agree. Therefore, if we're tracking ourselves from that time of Jerusalem, based upon the duty of the Almighty, and a lot of persons been taken away in slavery, they're going to be searching for the king. They're going to be searching for the things. So we know that other unscrupulous persons have stolen a lot of stuff from Africa. So we'll be searching. When we search and we found Rastafari,
Yes.
we are automatically Rastafari.
Right. That's
Because the throne of King David belongs to us, the black man and black woman, the Melanite nation.
Now, in Jamaica right now, we have a very big issue of crime and violence. Crime and violence has always been an issue for us, but it seems that it has gotten worse. And what do you think is the element to solve this? What do you think, and why do you think it's like this right now?
I do think it's the missing foundation of the culture of the nation for self-governance causing all of this, and based upon the fact that the transatlantic slave trade, it is still effective and still going on.
Right on.
Yeah, and I think to eradicate the violence, even though it's always going to be some sort of violence at times, but to get it lesser, the foundation of our culture, of our indigenous family must be implied. Therefore, the principle of the churches of Rastafari, such as the Bobo Shanti, the Nayabingi, the Sizzla Rastafari Judah Coptic Church, it comes with the protocols of Zion. And having these protocols, giving these protocols to the public, having them sitting in the offices, it will be giving them work to do, and they'll intentionally be taught of how to have self-discipline, self-governance, and they learn to be more of a human being someone who most I had lifted above the animal kingdom as human being, to live by these principles, these laws, an example, because we don't have any laws, we're gonna have a lot of destruction. And because all these principles of our foundation, of our culture, of the natives, are being removed from the ages until now. That is why we're wondering about and we're acting upon each other. When persons know the principle of praying, the principle of chanting, the principle of being indigenous, the culture to go to the land and use the produce from the land to make yourself a better person, to domesticate your life and others around you, then we'll eradicate all these stuff. So because we're not doing these things at the offices with the principles of duty to lead the nation, they're not being occupied in the right sense. Persons are just going astray and being vulnerable.
Because from me know myself, Donna, there's always rogue police where I kill 1 million bad man. And to me, it's a culture where ends up is that these men have brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, children that end up coming up against the state. You know, then
You said like that.
So it's the fact that that is not, and then there's no due process. If people were following a due process in where people were given a chance to be treated fairly, I think that might help a little. I think this brutal killing of people is only a shock value that lasts maybe a little bit of time and then back to the crime.
And until we remove the colonial system above us. It's the colonial system causing all of this, because the police officers killing innocent citizens, whether or not, he's being placed there on oath. That's his job. That is how he feeds his family. So he do whatsoever comes with the trade to feed his family. Same thing on this side. Might not be an officer, might not be a sworn state of the officer of the state, but I got to feed my family. It's the same thing on this side. Until you remove the colonial ways and return people what belongs to them, such as their African culture, the way of life, their language, their indigenous language, and all these things, where they can be self-governed, being placed in their own system of government, and then being placed in the now society based upon the status quo. You're always going to avoid it, because they're seeking for something that they don't have, that belongs to them, and they can't find it, and they started acting upon each other. And you wanted us to act upon ourselves because you want us dead, so you can keep what you've stolen from us.
That's why they created political.
When now persons like Bob Marley, Peter Church come and point it out, now you heard them.
Yes.
So you need to get rid of violence, return what you stole from people. What you stole kept you a benevolent society and kept us in a benevolent sense. So therefore, you need to give us what belongs to us.
Yes.
Because before we were the benevolent, you were the benevolent.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So that's just about it. So we need to return back to our culture, our roots. We notice persons who are really embedded in their roots and the culture, they don't have any problem with them concerning violence and any sort. So you need to teach the people of their culture that they can monetize the culture and start making a living where they don't have to be doing anything illegal or unlawful.
Right.
Because you know about the laws.
Yes.
So you do your stuff to keep you out of the prison.
Mhm.
These kids don't know the laws, so they do stuff that they ended up in the prison. On top of that, you're well off, you're well affluent, you have the land. You took all our images or logos or languages and you repackaged them and you enter them back in the system, making money off of it. You took our Black Messiah, painted him white, and selling him in the church on Sundays.
Wow.
So you're making money based off our talent, symbols of our culture, or wear, like our clothes. You took us out of our indigenous names, of our kings and queens, and started putting us in all these other brands. So what do you think is going to happen? The magnitude is different, frequency is different, the whole timing, the whole mathematical precision is different, the ceremonies are different, the gods are praising our idols. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to have a chain reaction of evil and corruption. So until they can return us to our original roots, foundation, and we live this, and then we learn to monetize this, where we can enter society without any problem.
And you know what, Shada? You said something just now prior to this. You said that we have been blessed to have knowledge and be on earth above the animals. I thought that was so it's something that people need to think of. You are blessed to be a human being. So love your life. Love your life.
People can be programmed and be easily programmed.
Yes.
So the millionaires and the moguls of society, they want to remain at top. So they have persons training, other persons programming people, and it's just gonna be like that because it's the money talk and the bull whatsoever walk.
Right.
So until we as a people can see the need and the whole initiative to be self-governed indigenously and use whatsoever ideas we come up with based upon the meditation in our culture while chanting and praying inspiration from the Most High, monetize it. That's what's happening. They are monetizing the energy. Look at it. You have young kids coming up, inventing a lot of stuff. You have the great black inventors, and not only black people inventing stuff. A lot of people do it because everyone is searching for a better way of life. So it's there for them to learn. It's just that we in the Caribbean, they're just looking down on us as third world.
Right.
And anywhere you have a community or a society of black people, they just be looking down on them because it's being programmed for them to look down on us because we were the ones looking down on them, trying to take them from the dark world. They came and they saw all of that in Africa, looted, killed, whatsoever, took it off, took away the gold and all those stuff. You're not working to get all these millions of dollars. You're just doing little mathematical stuff. Take our symbols and put it back into your apps and you're selling it. But every time we come up with something, like we did to develop a car without using gas, you kill us. We come with something can do light without plugging into the natural public system, you kill us. We come with something that we can see from here and see the moon, you took it over and you kill us. So it's not that you're not trying to get out of violence and slavery. You people who are the head of society, the corrupted Babylonian society, you keep setting up traps to keep the people down, and that's just about it. So the people just need to see what's happening.
So it doesn't matter.
We need to stand up and show and live by example and lead by example for others to see, because sometimes the people, they need a guidance. There's no one standing up for them to look at and say, here's an example.
A lot of them look at the Labour Right Party or the PMP party as their guidance.
Because that's the only thing being provided to them. That is why we need to remove all those and replace it with their natural indigenous Naya being a church called Rastafari order, sabbatical Naimic order. And then we can monetize our culture based upon ideas coming to us, and then we turn it in the economy.
Right.
So our economy comes from our culture. So we learn that, all right, this is our African culture, this is African wear, so all right, we're gonna start making clothes. All right, our alphabet A, B, C, D in the African sense or the Hebrew sense or the hieroglyphic sense, we put it on the cloth and we sell it.
Right.
You don't want to use any polluted stuff. We start using bamboo. We make bamboo straw. So the bamboo, we learn that it's more natural and more healthy for us. We monetize the bamboo then. We learn that the water from the spring is much better without any pollution. We monetize the water. We learn that this shoe is much better when the Rastaman fix it like this or set it like this or the nation fix it like that. You won't get any thing on your feet, any bumps or rash or stuff. We monetize it. So if you don't know your culture, you won't know how to monetize it and you won't know how to make money, start a business where you don't be being plunged into violence.
Right.
So until you give the people their culture and monetize their culture, where they have indigenous control over their culture, it's always going to be violence. Therefore, you must know that Rastafari is the name of the king, and yes, it is a divinity within yourself based upon the name. And you, the person, must know that Rastafari is the king. Therefore, the characters of the king should be displayed amongst your household and your doings and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's not to say if you don't have locks on your head, you're not Rastafari, all with your thought.
Right.
But then again, based upon the principles and the human life from that time being holy and based upon the biblical scriptures and all those stuff and with numbers and from that time instead the Nazarene vow, just
Nazarene vow.
don't raise up on your head and all those stuff. We still have to live with that because then again to administer on the altar of Rastafari, you have to have your locks.
Okay.
So you might not have your locks, but you know very much about Rastafari.
Right.
Even more so the more that person's having their locks because person do a lot more research than other persons.
So what do you think about like Peter Tosh was a fighter for the weed and the cause and nowadays what we used to get locked up for, they're selling out of stores in Jamaica, right? And I believe marijuana is a really calming, healing, necessary ingredient for many people because it helps with your nervous system.
A lot of medicinal properties are the Bible said grass for the cattle, herb for the use of man. But then again, it's not only marijuana. We have a lot more herbs that we're not talking about. Just that marijuana is famous, popular for the smoking. And we use it as the holy sacrament in giving praise from ancient time. So this is where we need to take hold now. What Babylon did is that they forced us out of our culture, have us being distracted, propagate our culture and all our holy places where the temples and scrolls and scriptures and rewrite them and monetize it and enter it into this cybernetic age, start selling it as they did with the human beings. So it's not just only marijuana. They trick you out of your locks, they trick you out of your whole complexion, you have your bleaching, they trick you out of your red, gold and green and your lion symbol, they trick you out of a lot of stuff because it's real valuable. That's a symbol for foundation and creation. So already took us out of that, ravish our temples, took us away in slavery, rename our cities, give up their names, and then monetize our stuff and started selling it on their market and enter it in their stock system. So we just need to be strong, maintain our culture, go back for all those stuff taken away from us and start putting it in the front line so our kids could see these things.
Yes, because even now I realize, all right, now that they have the marijuana system set up where you have people that have stores, which I like the whole medicinal and stores, but what happened to the natural farmer where grow this and take care of them kids, send them kids that become pillars in society that give back to the community and people. So the government need to now realize that it's time for them to free it up for real, and they're going to tax it. No matter what, we can't get away from tax, but at least allow the poorer class people to be able to find a way to fine tune it because a lot of things the government can't solve.
That's just about
we have to solve it ourselves.
Right. So
one question I want to ask you, your name is Sizzla Kalonji. Can you tell me how you came about that as a stage name?
All right. I don't normally have a nickname. They just call me Miguel Straight. When my mom would call me Miguel, everyone called me Miguel Straight. So growing up now, you're based upon the whole realms of burning the fire, and out here, there, Because I said I into the music, the whole notion of spreading the message and be serious
Right.
and give the people the truth. So Mr. Harris now from 2B Grove Road, look at me one day because I used to live don't remember why Mr. Harris. His son is like, you know, so you burn too much fire, everything you just have.
Fire that, them kind of thing.
They go call you Sizzla.
Yes.
And I said, Sizzla, Mr. Harris. And he said, yeah, name Sizzla. I said, all right, I say if it didn't work. But nothing sticks. Then, you know, then Sizzla start using the name and me like, kind of like it because it was very unique and there's nothing unique about it. There's a like it.
Right. And the Kalonji?
Kalonji, you know, I said, what do you have Bob Marley? Why am I first name Sizzla? And
yes.
on top of that, he's Mr. Harris. So someone gave me that name. I'm going to give my own name to myself. And I say, you know something? I've been in a lot of books and I read this Swahili. I remember the Kalonji, victorious. That's why the word I said, Sizzla Kalonji. I say it as a click. Because they have Bujo, Banton, Garnet, Silver, Bonnie, Wheeler. They got two names.
Wow.
You know, Marcia, Griffiths. You know, Tony, Rebel.
The artist, you hear that?
Yeah. You know?
Yes, so it's a rhythm that go with the name.
Music, Fire Links, Ricky
Bounty Killer.
Bounty Killer. Same Mega Fat, you know, some Sizzla Kalonji. Can't
Okay.
But that's what's just fun, you know, because as I say, I study, you know, I study and I look at things and I just emulate from the elders, you know,
Right.
because I was with the golden opportunity to get half clothes and shoes and a lot of monies like
Right.
that, you know, have to work in the garage, go to the market, up there and all those stuff. So I just used to I just improvise.
As a great artist that a lot of people see worldwide, you have done music with a lot of different genres of music. For example, hip hop, R&B, some African musics. Which one of those genres stand out to you most out of all them? Because you know, you yourself have great praising, Jah, thank you, Mama, all these things for yourself, and that we all appreciate. But I would just want to know which one of them kind of, when you collaborate with them, kind of more like brother, sister kind of. Which one of these genres of music you're drawn to more?
But more R&B hip hop.
R&B,
And hip hop is from Woolworth, Jamaica.
yes, cool.
And the hip hop come from the same music. Music is mathematics. So, but I'm spiritual. So my first genre would be reggae. With the people not knowing about Nairobi because reggae is out of Nairobi. The whole music pattern, whole note, half note, quarter note, and all those things. So the faster the rhythm, the more you'll have to put lyrics to it. Slower the rhythm, the less lyric. So when you chant, you use less of a lyric. When you sing, you use a bit more lyrics, and when you rap and DJ, you use a lot more lyrics. So I'm more spiritual. So I would go with reggae.
Reggae.
Nairobi. But then again, hip hop is really beautiful.
Yes.
R&B is beautiful generally. All the genres are beautiful.
What I've realized and what I was very happy about is when you got back your visa, you know, and I realized, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Bounty Killer just recently got back his visa. Vibes Cartel got his visa. What effect do you think this with you giants of our music? Because you all are giants. One of my problems, Shiva, before I go into that question is our industry is not properly set up for even artists that don't make a lot of money or artists that need to be exposed or the music. We should have like all them Grammys have a Jammies. They're like we have Jammies too, they're big up King Jammies then, but we should have an award what we need, my thing is, I think that we need people like yourself, Sean Paul, Shaggy, Bounty Killer, all of you guys have to set this thing up.
But I think you just answered the question. But concerning the visa, it's ripple through the music because fans loving their artists can now see the artists, have people doing business. It's not only the artists making the money, you have musicians, promoters.
Of course.
You know, the city makes money because you pay the fine or a little, you know, stipend to whatsoever. So persons having access to go and perform their works is really good.
It's good.
And it's good for the country, our country, and the country, whatsoever country they're visiting as well. Just keep the thing and you're right. You know what I mean? And then again, now too, where you say the business is not structured right because we, the artists, making the money, who are the millionaires, we've been faced with the problems, but we're not united to sit, tackle all these problems, and put infrastructures in place as persons making the money and leaders and the messengers. So, yeah, the system is being structured for their own benefit and their own earning. We need to set our system and have it properly structured, self-governed indigenously. But then again, we're being so much distracted with the fame, fortune, the money, and the ego.
And yes, somebody has to take up the mantle to really decide to do it. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's the way I see that.
Because I'm an artist, you know, we sound about the problem, illustrated the problem, we're being faced with the problem. We are persons who are the originator for this music and we're having a problem with it and we're not fixing our own problem. So sometimes the problem must be fixed by we ourselves or we even go to the wider public.
Yes.
So
within
yes, so
the fraternity or brotherhood of musicians
music
and artists.
artist society.
Yes.
So we can take some of the blame ourselves.
Yes. All right. Bounty and Vibes Cartel visited DJ Khaled.
Yes.
Okay. DJ Khaled, loves and rates you. But I know you guys had an issue one time. How is the relationship now? Is it everything good?
No, I'm supposed to call it since.
No.
But I have no vibes. Show no sign of each other.
Right. Because I knew there was a lot of mutual respect between
There's still respect,
yes,
big on a big man, but then again, you got to know how we deal with each other because dealing with you as an individual, I'm dealing with the country and I'm dealing with the world. They never know who loves this country or what part of the world support this person. So you just have to live with each other with respect, especially in business.
Yeah. And you know what? I was watching some films before when dancehall is really hot. When I talk about when Sizzla go up on the stage, we say all the fish them out of the ocean and jump. No, seriously. Do you think we've lost that vibe in the music?
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm not talking about with you, giants, I'm talking about with the younger generation. You think we've lost that?
No, it's a different generation now.
Okay, it's a different
Yeah, and same as how some of us grew up not knowing what a martyr is, or knowing what a closed iron is. In that sense, we don't know what a grater is.
Yes.
We know what big chill and all those measuring instruments are.
Yes.
It's the same thing in this time.
Oh,
So we grew up with the vibration of people in the sense of the consciousness need to be free. These kids, they grew up having the same notion, but it's much easier for them because they've already had a generation before who had declared and who had been fighting for that cause. So it's like, mama and dad don't do that, so we can relax now. That's what's happening now. As time goes by, they'll be conscientious of the whole fact that they have to play this role, what we've been playing the generation before them. So give it a little time, when a little pressure gets to them, then they'll start changing up the lyrics and they'll get that vibe.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. People will change their lyrics when they see a certain thing. Because I remember clearly when you stepped on the scene.
Yes.
There were so many more. I think this was the birth of even like a Chronics and so many other artists was based off of your stepping. Because remember, when you were there, Bounty Killer was there, Elephant Man, they were all of these things, but you stepped in with a certain kind of fire, a certain kind of leveling out of, the craziness. But still within it, they still have them know, so we're rough and tough because dancehall music is a rough music, you know what I mean? A reggae music also because we have a message within it.
All what's being played out or being expressed concerning lyrics in our genre of music such as dancehall or reggae or ska or whatsoever is just the quality of our culture being kept by our ancestors and our parents and our fathers. It's just that what's coming out now. Despite you have a few little lyrics that's really, it's not really accepted. Based upon the
moral code.
This is what's been happening. It's the rebirth of something what was.
Right.
I ain't going nowhere. That is why I don't go around and bashing these artists, because I was once an artist.
Exactly.
So why should I bash an artist? Because his lyrics might not be within his metrical line of the standard of quality within its construction. No, that's an artist.
Yes.
If you have something about the character of the artist, well, that's something different.
That's something
Because just the talent to sing and represent the people, that's really great.
And I do believe talent is something that was developed.
And it can be worked on.
It can work out and get better.
If you stand to correction, you'll be a good artist, because they're always vulnerable to scrutiny. Well, you sing for the people. So sometimes the criticism is nothing bad. If you're free and clean within yourself, because if someone's going to say, I don't like the shoes what Sizzla is wearing, you shouldn't be wearing that as an artist, especially my artist. For example, you should also within yourself and say, wow, so she's placing me or he's placing me on a higher pedestal.
Yes,
You
yes,
should
yes.
be like taking offense to it. Just listen to it. If you're not guilty, you live free. Just be free. But then again, you can be criticized about something and you're not really doing it, but you can learn from it. So that's just about it with Sizzla Kalonji. I'm not here to really judge anyone, criticize anyone, but I'm just here to advise and just educate you.
The other day, I had my first guest here was Kid Rich. And Kid Rich did a dub plate.
Yes.
And the dub plate that he did caused him a lot of problems because of, you know, he's doing a dub plate for someone that the state might not like or have problems with. And now he's actually in court about that. I never knew that was possible in dancehall, and there's actually a law against it. But I do feel that infringes on our freedom of creativity and expression. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I say we're born free and equal, but then again, I would refer to old folklore saying, say, see a man's face, can't see man. And every day the book you go, I will, it's like I got drop out.
Yes,
Either keep it strong, keep it his life.
yes.
You understand? What monkey see, monkey do. Who stand there doesn't have the same love. So sometimes the things we think that we're doing sometimes might not be right in the sense. There's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof is destruction. And because you're an artist and you have the access of the media, means that you should just go and say just about anything, because it's our burning fire. We're doing this. And then again, you must learn not to incriminate yourself. And you must know you're someone, especially an artist in the island, you know that political atmosphere over the island.
Especially now.
Especially now, so you must just be smart. But then again, I still have
But if somebody
what
pays,
to say.
but if somebody pays you to DJ something, so there's not anything somebody.
No one can pay me to DJ and that.
No, what I'm talking about, dub plate. Like a man come and say, boy, cause you know you have killing them.
We understood very well what doublet is. It's just the other side of the music for entertainment and business concerning sound system. So then again, when you know that you're going to use the talent of sound system, don't put it in your domestic life. That will improve nature. I mean, that will probably kind of society and families through the island.
True.
So you just got to be smart. Yet again, I can't tell you what to say.
Yes.
That you're even be responsible.
All right. Somebody has achieved so much
Just
like
be smart.
somebody who has achieved so much like himself and does so much for the community. What keeps him motivated to do music? What motivates him?
Same people.
The same people.
From the people, yeah. You
So that is going back to why you stay
younger
in your
generation,
community.
younger generation, yes. But there's nowhere to go. Okay, this community is going to be living with some other persons in some other community, and you're still going to be required to do something for the community.
Okay,
So why not just
I know you like the bike riding, but I don't see you riding too many bikes somewhere there. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, because it was just for a time to get that part of the music connected to the bike. Because first thing as an artist, you got the break, you need a car, we need a bike, we need a house.
Yes,
And music comes with it. And I said, yeah, it goes with it. But then again, I grew up in the garage and we can do a lot of stuff. We stunt the car, stunt the bike to show the world the whole natural instinct and intelligence and where your brain spaces are. And then again, I've seen where the bike is $1 million, multi-billion-dollar business in the States. It's just that in the Caribbean, they have it as a third world because we don't have much factories and all those stuff. They have us as third world. We are not being given access to these opportunities. You got kids out here riding bikes and driving cars, and they're multi-millionaires, and they need all those wealth and those fortunes.
Natural,
Legal indigenous talent. So
That-
sometimes it's just only in our country putting down ourselves. Not to say that the sport is not dangerous, but sometimes it's just in our own country we're putting down ourselves and putting down our children.
Every sport is dangerous. If you play tennis and the ball hit and it could knock out your eye. You know what I mean? So
Yourself, you're very dangerous to yourself. Can be walking and you just fall outside.
exactly. So I think that is another road to where we can do things for the youth. We have to see what's going on, and instead of, I like how you talk, instead of bashing the youth, embrace them. Show them a way where, listen, you can ride bike, but you can do it like this. But I noticed you said something. You said they think of us as third world country. You don't think Jamaica is a third world country?
No. Jamaica is not a third world country.
Okay, so how you have Jamaica?
Jamaica is first world country because we're here, black
Right.
people. And remember now, the Maroons
Mm-hmm.
fought the British and they got 1738. 1st of March we surrender. We got light
Mm-hmm.
before America sent this thing. We got everything here before. This is a country you took all the sugar cane from and all the produces from the farm to make your country great.
Mm-hmm.
We're the first world.
Yes, we are the first one.
You came after.
Apart from your musical success, what would you say is your biggest achievement apart from in music? What would you consider your biggest?
Stuff I learned from school and talent being given to me taught by my father, like the skill in the auto mechanic.
Yes. People, let me tell you something. I know Sizzla Kalonji is a close brother of mine, right? And let me tell you something. I see this man take down a car, put it back together, take down a bike, put it together, drive the same car, ride the same bike, and then I see him building the museum around there, and he himself is building the museum hands-on. Tell me about that museum and tell me what that means to you and why is it so important for you?
Okay, well, first with the cars and the bikes, that's just fun for us and that's just a hobby.
Mm.
I think second nature. Now with the museum, I'm like, SizzlaKalonji. Where Dada, we want money, we want Dada, use own food,
Yeah.
medication, prescription, Dada books, bags,
Sizzla Youth Foundation.
So I said it was something. I knew about this and I read about it a lot. So instead of just coming out my pocket, do a charity. So I said, all right, so this is a foundation, but I need a building
Mm-hmm.
in case stuff start coming in. So I said, I'm going to build something over there. But I said, let's do some Airbnb. Kind of where you try to make the money.
Of course, but are you everybody depend on the starting?
My father get piece of land, so we can use it. So we started building something. The people themselves is no Airbnb. It must be the Sizzla Museum.
Oh,
So they said, okay, where is the Sizzla Museum? So we started doing stuff. Parts of it based upon the violence. But we still do the work as Sizzla Foundation, charitable stuff. We do fundraising for other charity organization. We still have very key minutes, key meetings, all the stuff, did a lot of stuff now. It's not big, it's not big company.
Really. I always notice people who would you consider like a musical brother, one of the artists, that's a musical brother to you that you know.
There's a lot of it.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but I would start with Louis culture.
Louis culture.
Oh.
Yes. Cockatoo. Oh, God bless his soul.
Yeah, in this music,
I know,
to go here and there, Louis culture already started.
Wow,
Go
big
over
up
here
Louis.
and go over there.
Cockatoo. Boy.
Yeah, we leave from over Ricky General Yard and
Yes.
go over Louis Culture Yard, but link up Ricky Rudy before he's down in that.
Yes.
Link up Ricky Rudy, I would walk every day. So Ricky Rudy,
Yes, Ricky Rudy, aka Blink Dog.
Big Dog, you know, yeah, alive now before being deceased. Funny.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, as an artist of your caliber, who inspired your music? Who were you a fan of?
Shabba,
Shabba?
Paris,
Yeah?
yeah, Bujo, Super Cat,
Yes.
yeah, Josie Wheel,
Yeah, Josie.
Sister Nancy Tiger,
Yes.
yeah, Spider and Earth Angel.
Yes.
First Dancehall, Spider Earth Angel. Those
Spider
first
Earth Angel. I
songs.
never.
Spider
Angel, Passy, Augustine, Tiger.
Oh yes, 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 yes,
Dancehall
yes.
Queen,
Yes,
Think, yeah, one of them.
yes, yes. I'm telling you, Kalonji, I'm telling you. Can you tell us in depth here, in depth podcast? We want to know something about you that nobody else knows. Something you're going to say here that nobody else knows about Miguel Collins, aka Sizzla Kalonji, that nobody else in the world knows.
Well, Miguel Collins is a person who's here to help to deal out of slavery and to help in administration for Black people to return to Africa. Very serious.
You're very
God
serious.
and with their soul.
Okay, so you know, you would like say all of the Black people then go back to Africa
Yes.
and leave Jamaica too?
Then Jamaica belongs to them. Jamaica is Africa also.
Okay.
And they're already in Africa. It's just that we need to just get ourselves situated in Africa business wise. Domestically, we have houses, we have cars, we have farm and land, but they're still going to be traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got, since I've been to Africa
Yes.
and I'm still in Jamaica,
Yes.
because business wise, I'm structured in Jamaica. And in order to operate the family, take care of the woman, the kids and stuff, we have to be having these things. So we need to have ourselves properly structured in Africa.
Okay.
Going to indigenous families, tribal people, the government, getting your land, build up your house, set a business there, and same as though you could be in Jamaica, you have a business running in America, you can have a business running in Africa from Jamaica, you can have a business running from Africa anywhere in the world.
Okay, so that is something that you will see yourself as owning and helping people repatriate.
That's my duty. Marcus Garvey, Prince Manuel Selassie is straight. Yeah,
Okay.
because His Majesty traveled the world. He
Right.
lives in Africa. Marcus Garvey, traveled the world, but he lived in Jamaica. Not because we're saying repatriation, we're going to still go to Africa and stay. We're going to still travel the world.
Yes.
I'm not going to go to Africa today and everybody's in Africa looking at the world. The world belongs to us. We're just going to get ourselves properly structured.
Yeah.
Who want to go where they go get picnic and set up their business, join their bank and set up their credit union, whatsoever thing you know want to go do it, but we still have the world to pay attention to.
As you talk about picnic,
Start leading as we
as you talk about picnic, the other day when I called you, and you said, Prado, say, I'm just forward from doing some things, but I gotta take out some time right now and spend with me youth there. How is Sizzla Kalonji the father? How do you consider yourself? Because you're so busy. We just find time to father.
There's always time. There must
How
be
you
time.
make- how do you
But
do
I
it?
just do it Sizzla mainly in August. I don't know my kids are the mother, they're really great women at the duty.
Right.
I mean, but I'm mainly in August, honestly.
So you're a strict daddy discipline?
Yeah, I'm really strict, well disciplined, but my kids, I don't worry about them. They're like soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone, I think,
They understand the mission.
It says it takes a community to grow a child. And
Yes.
sometimes some stuff that I see my kids doing, it wasn't being taught by me. Either from the school, from a friend, teachers, other parents. So they're like soldiers, including my set of teaching as a parent, as a father. So I'm very strict with my kids. My kids don't cry. I don't have any problem with my kids. I don't give me no problem. So nothing.
That's beautiful.
They just go to school, the grades are good.
And they know them can call daddy and talk to daddy.
They're the bosses. Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of times we need to stress on our Black men to know how important it is. Sometimes they cannot be physically there every day because they might be out there looking food and trying to make things
We're a
happen.
family.
But you need to make
We are
sure.
family. There's
Yes.
nothing without family.
Yes.
Despite it might be far relatives that we might not share the same, say, DNA
DNA. Yeah.
or surname, we're still family. Sometimes you have a bit of internal vibration within the family, but we are still family. We're still family. It's a blood thicker than water.
Mhm. Yeah, that is true.
So
So, and what about you're single? You have what's going on? Because I know the ladies out there always love Sizzla Kalonji when they put on them suit and walk out. Even some girls that
Yeah,
always say,
ladies will always
ask
love the
Sizzla
artist.
if he, you have to ask him
That's it.
if he's single. Okay, so there's a special
So
person
now
there.
my kids, so my kids' mom
Yeah,
still keep the protocol.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's not just to go about because you're an artist, go
Right.
around looking for every woman. You can't just be with everyone.
Yes.
Just find someone you love and someone you respect and just flow.
So you believe in love.
Love is the foundation.
Okay.
Love, God created everything.
Because nowadays, it's such a dark society where people and young men, especially younger generation, not old generation, younger generation, they find it hard to say love, or they think love is a lost thing.
Because they've been deceived by love. Because as I said, the culture in that time, as with the generation is this time, slightly different.
It
It's
is.
different between understanding it.
Mm.
So persons are being married and it's just for business. Not for love again.
True.
You know, persons might be just going with a girlfriend or a girlfriend going with boyfriend and they're being deceived. They're not looking at love again. They're just looking at survival.
Yes. One of the biggest things that I notice, and I say, I dare meditate, I meditate a lot, and I said, one of the things that I think is different now than then is that in our time, badness was not highlighted as the thing. Badness is something that people hide and do. It was more to be a good person or to excel in whatever you do or to overcome obstacles.
The concept.
But no, the concept no is with bad. Everybody bad. I mean, the taxi man bad, the bus man bad, the doctor bad, the lawyer bad. Everybody bad. So it's like, if you're not bad, so that's the big difference. I see it. No, it's like a total difference. It's a total difference. When we were growing up, badness and something where we're highlighted like, yo, bad people are rare. No, it's not.
Sometimes they're not
people out
really
there
expressing
bad
themselves as being a bad person. That's the definition of the word. It's just they're just being sarcastic about stuff and they don't know what say. Sex sells, violence sells. And that's what's making the money. And the quick way to get the money is just to say bad and do something where can bring the money. But if you check these people, deep down inside these people after going through their doors at night, they're not like that.
True. That's very
They're
true.
not like that.
True. All of them probably want love
It's a
too.
two-faced thing. They
Yeah.
need love and that is why they're like that. They're being
Yeah.
neglected.
Yes.
Being snitched on, being persons
Yes.
lying and them and persons ends up in prison and all those stuff. So everyone, I do believe that everyone has their own way of doing their own thing. A reason why they're doing it.
I find that today in our music, though, segue into the music, that the culture how it used to be in terms of moral is going away. We still have it in, but it's going away slightly. But what I was talking about is the actual clash culture. Like you had times where you and artists clash, and you and them you have no problem now. You and them good.
Everybody
Right?
right now,
But no, it's like if a man clash up,
they're not seeing it like that. As I said before, it's a whole different scenario now. But the whole ego is a part of it and it's being monetized now. All we do, energy is money. It's being monetized now. So everyone's going to do something. That's why it's the media is like that. At times, like everyone could be just out in the media and displaying their private life, taking all these things on media. But in the future, it's going to come back and affect them.
yes,
Because they go have privacy when they need it.
yeah, like for instance, TikTok. TikTok was developed by the Asians, right? And in their culture, the TikTok that gets all the accolades and all the views are the positive thing, the doctors, the lawyers and stuff. But when you go on TikTok, the things that get accolades is people making a fool of themselves. So I am saying we need to develop our own platform where we can establish something that's still exciting, still have the hype to it, what the people them love, but showing the people that's doing it, showing the youth them that's mechanics.
Once you can find persons to stick to that criteria, it's all good. Because we all have the idea, but no one is doing it.
That
And
is
no one's going to find
But
the
we're
time.
speaking about it so that people can hear, so that people can say, hey, we did hear Prado and that and that talk about this.
That is why the
Something like that.
foundation platform is the Nyambigi, the Rastafari. Because
Right.
it's always there. The chanting, the
Teaching.
holiness, the psalms, the book, the robe, the turban, the drums, it's always there, and that is where we keep it.
That's
We
different.
have nothing else to change. It's not going to change. Because with what's going on TikTok, you must know that persons are being separated from slavery times, 400 years, 200 years, 300 years.
Yes.
So having a set of people not communicating with their nation or their generation or their foreparents, and in this time, they can have the access to a reservoir of knowledge and information, and they can see the whole entire world. They're going to react different.
True. That is true.
Until
That is true.
they becomes mature within the stream. Some people doing it, as I say,
So
to
just
monetize.
it's father time.
TikTok is being monetized.
Yes.
Monetizing TikTok or whatsoever within parents. To the people, it meant that I can do anything and get rich. So they'll go about doing anything to get rich. And it's about entertainment again. You know, some they know that sometimes I see a lot of views. It's not just that they really like it, but they're just expecting to see what's there. After going there and being familiar with what's happening there, they go somewhere else because the mind is always working.
Right, because even when I look at it a lot of times, I see people that a whole lot of followers. But there's a difference when somebody should be able to call himself an influencer. Because when you say an influencer, that means that you can influence people to actually do something. But
Bad or good?
yes, bad or good. But a lot of them just have a lot of popularity because they're talking things that have shock value. That I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he did that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we want our young generation to realize that you have something special that you can use to better
Yourself. Yeah, you've been given that through school, through the natural culture of home culture, home teaching. You've been given all of that. It's just that you're a human being. You're an adult now.
Right.
When you were like below the age of 18, you'd have to be humble. Now you're 18 and over, you can do all what you want to do. You becomes an adult. So then again, if you were like an adult and you're not being like having the principles growing up with it, you're going to go astray. Some persons, they're just like tired of living this way. They want to change. There you go. So it's not really bad why they do all this stuff.
Before we go,
Not always good either.
how do you take on the role of being a leader where your father probably link you, your mother probably link you, your brother probably link you, all of them? Does that become stressful at times?
It can't be stressful. It was stressful for my parents to grow me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I wasn't as stressed to my parent.
Right.
I know it's stressing. School fee, light bill, clothes, uniform, I know that, but it seemed as if there weren't any stress from my parents. They just get it done.
And you know what I love? You sing Thank You Mama, you know. And you and I have a song also, which our friend said he's going to video. But anyway, people always think of Sizzla and think of Mama, Thank You Mama. But a lot of this interview you talked about your father. So I actually am impressing on the fathers out there to continue to take a role. So important, because even though we as young men, we always kind of lean to a mommy and love with mommy, we still need you to help shape and guide that. So because we didn't,
And not just your family.
maybe you might sing a song, Thank You Daddy.
Yeah, I've done all those songs also. I've done a lot of songs.
Oh yes.
The thing with me, I'm a people's person. And that's just the thing about me. So it's going to be difficult for me not to deal with people.
Yes.
I grew up around people.
Yes.
People treated me well, and I'm in the position to treat persons well also. So it reciprocates. So that's just about it. It can't change. So you know what I mean? I'm Sizzla. You come to me asking for something might not happen now, but I'm going to find some way or the other to help you out.
I can tell them.
So
I can tell them.
I might not have $100,000 now, or I might just give you $100,000 to do whatsoever.
Yes.
I'm not going to cry about it because someone is calling me in Trinidad wanting to give me money to do even a little gig around here.
Yes.
Someone is calling me in Europe. Someone is calling me from Africa. The friends just appear at my birthday or any day of the week and give me stuff. So it reciprocates. Just pass around the love, spread the love. So I don't see why you're going to keep it.
I know what's wonderful. I heard you saying you're a people person. People do not like nowadays. I'm saying everybody wants me not like people. Me not deal with this kind of mentality. Is why I know you're one of the greatest that ever trod the earth, because you can't be great and not love people and not
Thank you very much.
And not learn to appreciate people.
You can't be a public figure and you don't love the public. You're going to the public for the love. The public takes care of you. Your light bill, everything, all your bills, they took care of it, and you don't love this. Exactly. You like a bite in the hands that feed you. So I'm a people's person. I think might be one of my weaknesses, people.
Hey, people, I think we got something in depth right there. So I bet you never know that Sizzla is a people person. Because the might say that I know that a serious more tar on the fire, but that is a people person. And let me tell you something. Miguel Collins, Sizzla Kalonji, He's a real true brother, and I appreciate you.
You're very welcome.
Forwarding to Indepth podcast. The whole crew appreciates you, and we look forward to the great things that you're doing. Anything new or anything we should look forward to?
Well, I've just completed an album run by Mikey Bennett Studio with a new musician.
Wonderful.
And I just did a Maroon album.
Wonderful.
I just did the Kojo Salute to help keep the family in unity, you know, and we're still in construction with the Judgment Yard project. Because bit by bit, little by little.
Yes.
And then again, I must say I'm very honored being here.
Yes.
You know, because remember in Prado, kept that show in Atlanta. And we spoke about this in the white BMW and we said Prado, forward a yard and I could do things. And this is where it's reached. And additionally to that, the
Eastern
extravaganza.
Yes.
That's just something beautiful. That's just awesome. And we need to do more things like that.
Yes,
so
definitely.
seeing persons that we've reasoned with and the youths took it up, and every year it's an annual event and they can do it. Same way we can do something to better our music industry as artists also.
Definitely.
Concerning our publishing royalties and how we treat people and how people treat us. So
Wonderful.
big respect. In-depth podcast.
Yes, wonderful.
Rastafari.
Wonderful. People, let me tell you.
Respect.
I
Fans.
thank everyone. Remember, Stargirl Anthea, Jermaine, Dempster, really appreciate you for your support for especially this actual episode. And I want to big you up and thank you on behalf of myself and Indepth podcast crew. And I want to say this episode, this third episode is it is our biggest episode with my number one artist, Sizzla Kalonji. And world knows that. Sizzla Kalonji, Bounty Killer, Popcorn, Prado artists them. So we look forward to you forwarding back to our next episode. We're not going to tell you who we're going to have yet. So hit that subscribe button, press share, press like, leave a comment, tell us what you think. And stay tuned. You know, it's a family thing. It's a family affair, right?
Affair.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
It's a family affair.
That's
Indepth podcast 2025.
Keep the people united. One love.
Sleepless nights it name, no sweat and tears, then private plane. We always are the same, you may know enough of them would hype with fame. Now forget the break and I try pull style.